Alright guys, welcome back. As you can see behind me, the spray foam insulation is all finished. So next I like to work on the ceiling, and there's an order of doing things. It's always the ceiling first, then the walls, then the floors. I've got the wood planking here from Home Depot, and I have a little clip here showing where I got that in Home Depot. It's really lightweight, thin cedar, which I like to use on the ceiling. Cedar is good for environments that have a lot of moisture, like a van. You want to check each one of these, make sure none of the edges are chipped, because that tends to happen a lot on these. Also got a little bit of insulation left over that I'll use to stuff in any low spots where I didn't do a very good job, like right there with the spray foam insulation. First thing I like to do is get my chalk line and make a line right down the middle of the van where I can start the first panel. The way to do that is just go off the two fans. I know I centered the fans on the van, so I'll put the chalk line right in between the two fans and snap it, and then we should have our first piece perfectly in the center, and then we can move out both ways from there. Okay, one other thing we need to do is build out from the two fans, so we have something to screw the wood into the ceiling. So what you need to do is just take your level and then take this measurement right here. Remember when we put the fans in, if you haven't seen that episode, you can go back and check that one out. Actually, I'll link all the previous episodes in the description down below. I planned ahead and we put this little piece of wood in here. So that's so now we can build out and make it flush with this piece. And then same in the back. So I ripped these down on the table saw. These are exactly 1 inch thick. These pieces I have left over from the subfloor. And I'm just gonna screw them in just like that, so that should make it perfectly level with the rest of the other beams. One here, one here. You don't need to do the sides. Okay, front and back is done, and you can see everything's all lined up. So now we're ready to snap the chalk line. Okay, so now we've got the chalk line there, and the first thing we're gonna do is put in the middle piece. And you also need one of these countersink bits. I'll put a link for one of these. We're gonna countersink every screw hole, that way we can fill it in with some wood putty and then paint over it later. You won't see any screw holes. So I just held the first piece in place and then made a little X with a pencil everywhere I'm going to need to put a little countersink. So I'll have everything pre-countersunk before I get it up here. That way I can just screw it in real easy. Also, what you want to do is add a little bit of wood glue everywhere where it's going to touch the beams here. And that'll stop that squeaking you hear when you're driving. Don't need too much, just a little bit. All right, now that the first one is set right down the middle, just work our way out in both directions. Because we could fit a full length between the fans, we can go ahead and do that. But once we get past the fans, we'll need to start putting seams in. And you want to stagger those seams. You don't want to have all the seams in one spot. That looks really bad. Just kind of stagger it so there's no sort of pattern. That looks best when you do it that way. Now in order to get in here, you're going to need an angled drill bit because this won't fit. And I've showed this so many times on the channel, but this thing's great. I'll put a link in the description below for this. So now that we've made that connection, we'll start coming around this way. All right, so the next piece I put in is going to have the lights. So I'm gonna cut it the same way, 93. And then I have the bit over here. This is the bit I use, it's 2 3/8, which is perfect for the lights that I use. You can also get away with 2 1/2, but it's a little loose. And 2 3/8 fits it perfectly if you have one of those. And I'll put a link for the lights I use, and then also the bit. This is the next piece that's going to go in. All the light holes are pre-drilled. All the screw holes are countersunk, ready to go in. Also, I took a measurement of each light hole to the center point of them. 13 3/4, 48. So that when I do the other lights, they'll be in the exact same spot. Okay, so that's what it should look like once you got this one in. And the rest of that row will be much easier. And I'll do these lights next. And it's right about this point here when you've got about 4 rows in where you can start stuffing a little extra insulation in here and just fill this cavity up. It's already a couple inches of the foam, but you want to fill all these low spots up just to get a little extra. Going to go ahead and make the electrical connections now for the fan. You don't have to do it now, but it's a little bit easier while everything's opened up. And the fan comes with all the connections, so I'm just going to cut the wire here, strip it down with the wire stripper, get rid of some of this excess wire, and then make the connections. One thing to note on these MaxxAir fans, black is positive. We've got these really nice wire strippers that work really well. Highly recommend them. The Klein. So once you have those connected, you can just push this back here, and then this will just get pushed up in there when the cover goes on. That can just sit right there. The cover will squeeze in between there. That's how it's designed. So you want to leave yourself a little bit of extra slack so the cover can kind of push the wires up. As you can see, we're just about done here. Just one more row on each side, which is going to be a little more tricky because I have to cut around all these little notches and things. One other thing I want to mention is don't try to paint these first because the joints are really tight the way they kind of lock in. And if there's any kind of paint that's come onto the tongue and groove, these won't fit into place. So make sure you put them up unpainted and then you can paint them after. Then I'm going to fill all the nail holes in first, sand it down, and then it'll take 3 coats of paint to make it look perfect. So now I need to cut all these little grooves out so I can get this piece to fit in. So what you can do is line it up on the next board here, and then you can take a scrap piece and put that against here. You can mark it like that. Okay, now that I have this test fit and I know it's gonna fit in here, next thing we need to do is add something to screw in, because you can see the furring strips ended like right here. So what we're gonna do is screw in a little piece of wood in the back of this board and make it come out a little bit so we could screw this last piece in. So just have like a little scrap piece of wood like this, and we're gonna stuff it in here like that. I might need to trim it down a little bit. Stuff it in there like that, screw it in here, and then screw the new one into that. So this is one of the only ones we're going to add a little bit of glue to the seam here, just because there's not going to be much holding this up. It's mostly just for looks, this piece anyway. It's not going to be structural or anything. Now just a few more of those and we'll be done with the ceiling, and then same thing on the other side. As you can see, the ceiling is completely done. Next step, we're going to fill all the screw holes, give it a little sanding, and then a coat of paint. Over there where that little gap is, there's going to be a shelf covering that. And then after the walls come up, there'll be a crown molding covering that gap there. So because I use the crown molding, that's one of the reasons why you don't see me putting the framing of wood on the diagonal part there. You're not going to need it when you use the crown molding. So cover like this. There's not much to this next step. We're just going to get some wood putty. I like to use this stuff because it's pink when it comes out of the can, and then when it dries it's this natural wood color, so you know it's dry. And a little putty knife. You're just going to grab some of the wood putty and fill each hole. We'll come back and sand it once it dries, and then usually like one more light skim coat to make it look perfect so you don't see any screw holes at all. And then another light sanding, and then it's ready for paint. First coat's dry, you can just use like a sanding block if you have one of those foam sanding blocks. Or since I have this guy here, power sander, it's a little easier to use this. Everything's sanded. That power sander actually made a huge difference. I don't think I would do it by hand anymore after using that power sander. But you can see it's like 90% perfect right now. There's just a little bit of texture. And after you paint it, you will notice that. So now I'll just give it one more skim coat on any of these ones that don't look 100% perfect. Sand it one more time, and then it'll be ready for paint. Also, just used my hand and went over all the wood, because you'll feel some rough spots in a few places, like where these knots are and things, because some like sap or something seeps out of the wood, and you'll feel it's rough. You won't be able to see it, but you can feel it, and you will be able to see it after you paint it. So anywhere I felt a rough spot, I did a very light sanding, so now the whole ceiling is completely smooth. It should look a lot better after it's painted. There'll be a few more little cracks and things that you notice after you paint it, because once you paint it white, you'll notice all the little black holes. So after I paint it, I'll also be able to put a little more wood putty, sand it down, and repaint it again, if I see any of those later on. Okay, well that's after one coat. That's one of the most satisfying things to do. You can see it's still pretty thin. You can see the wood through it. It's almost, the first coat's almost like a primer coat, really. But now you can also see what I was talking about. You could kind of see where the nail holes aren't, or where the screw holes aren't perfectly filled in. So I can come back and touch those up later. Just gonna let this dry. Once this dries, there'll be like a very slight texture on it, and then I'm gonna lightly hit it with the sanding sponge, and then I give it another coat. It's gonna take probably 3 coats to get it perfect. Okay, so that's after 2 coats. It's looking a lot better now, and I'll let that completely dry, and then hit it with the little sponge sander here, and then one more coat, and that should look perfect. So the ceiling is completely dry now, and with this you want to go really lightly, almost not touching it, and just go over everything, just kind of knock down any of those little rough spots. And after you do that to the whole ceiling, one more coat of paint, and it should look really good after that. Okay, that's the finished ceiling. Only thing left to do is put in the lights and the 2 fan covers. Got everything right here. So we're gonna have to cut those down the sides. The way I like to do that is just to use something like this and then stick it up in there. See, the ceiling's still wet, so it made a mark there. And that's right about 3 1/4. So I'll probably cut it down to 3 inches. You need a little extra room because it's going to push this wire up in there. and it needs some extra room too. So I'll start with 3 inches. I may need to cut it down to 2 3/4. Okay, let's test fit this. Need the screw holes over here, not on the sides, because that's where we put the nailer. Beautiful. Now if you remember, we saved the white screws that came with the fan. We'll put those 4 in right now. Definitely going to want to pre-drill these so we don't split the wood we just finished. So I put those about 90% in with the drill and then finish it by hand. This way I can get all the screws lined up neatly. Okay, the only thing left to do is connect the lights. The ones that have just one wire coming out, you just connect the positive and negative to the light and you're done. The one that have 2, we'll snip it. I've got my stripper here. It's a really high quality one. Makes things a lot easier. I'll put a link for this as well. It's a Klein, really good brand. Pretty simple. This comes with 2 wires, positive and a negative. We're going to take the 2 positives from the ceiling, connect it to this, so we'll have 3 positives connected together with a wire nut. Because this is 12-volt DC, it's okay to connect this with a wire nut in the wall. It's not going to cause any problems. Don't panic. Get a good bite on it. Then we're going to take our 3 negatives, and then you can just tuck the wires in here. Take these 2 tabs, flip them up. Boom. 1 installed light. So 5 more to go. Alright guys, that's a finished ceiling, so let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comments section. I'm happy to answer them. And I think in the next episode we're going to be putting in the walls, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. That'll ensure that you'll see the next episode, and I'll catch you guys next time.